All right, it's Tuesday, December 27th. This is a pre-opening SPY report. This is the first day of a shortened trading week. At the moment, the pre-market range is above the midpoint and above the high of the inside bar that developed on Friday here, but you can see that we are, after gapping up pretty big, we're kind of skewing to the bottom of that range as the session starts. So there's a few things to look for now. First of all, on the weekly chart, the only way we're going to get some kind of a big rally this week, might be a light volume trading week, is to kind of move above that pre-market high, which could trigger that 2-up week. This is kind of it's a hammer bar, but it's not the strongest looking bar, so you don't really know if it's going to follow through. But if it does and we can hold above this week, then yeah, we might have a strong rally up towards last week's or 2 weeks ago's high, but we have to see that happen. So if we kind of start here and start up green, I would say that we're above the midpoint of this inside bar, and we just kind of start near the bottom, and if we go up a little bit here, we have a 2-up day, and we'd anticipate us kind of testing that area and just seeing if we break through or not. But I did talk about on the closing video how an inside bar can often fail, where you kind of probe to the upside but don't really reach your targets, and then you immediately come to the halfway point of that bar, and that usually means you're going to test the lower end of the range. And if that happens, we'll want to see if we head much lower. So this opening price action here, if we kind of open right near the bottom, we could still be above the high of yesterday, but maybe we get red price action and that fails that high and we get to the midpoint. If so, watch if we can get follow through below this blue line towards the midpoint. That would be the key sign that we're failing. But in the meantime, we're just kind of in this sideways area here where we kind of, after coming down big, we broadened to the upside. We took out some highs, then we came to the downside, we took out some lows, then we broadened up. So maybe we're going to broaden up to the upside, just barely take that out and fail and come down. So that's why it's so key. If we come up here, we're going to hold that area and continue higher. There's definitely some gaps up here which could be filled, and then we can reverse. So, you got to be a little careful on the upside. And the downside, we haven't, we have to really fail this inside bar, which means we got to be above it and then come to the midway point of that bar. So that's what I'm going to be looking for today, given how price action opens. Again, we're kind of opening up a little up, but to the downside of the range, so it's not that strong, and yet we're not that weak at the moment either. So we're just going to have to see where opening price leads us. Finally, on the monthly chart, we're getting to a point where just a few days left to go in the month. Can we kind of, after failing to the upside and projecting down to the lows of November, are we going to possibly get there? It seems like we're running out of time to get there. We'll just have to see how that bar ends by the end of the month. If it's pretty much red, then we would expect follow through lower into January, but we'll get into that later on. For now, it's just going to be a question of, we're in this sideways range here. So that's kind of the way I'm seeing it. And actually, if we open near the bottom of the pre-market range, we're right in the middle of that range. So it's just going to be a little tricky knowing that maybe the volume's a little light. Are we going to, how much up or down action we're really going to get one way or the other today. But let's just see how it opens. And again, it's all relative to this inside bar. Do we break out above and kind of reach our targets, or do we fail and then start to the downside?